another fun project to try inside in the wintertime is grafting a cactus. And all of you have probably seen grafted cacti before. Down here we have an example. Those bright orange cacti that you see on top of green cacti are actually grafted. And here you can see that it actually makes a very nice cactus. Now the interesting thing about this is this cactus on the top would not survive without being grafted to the bottom because it doesn't contain any chlorophyll in the top, so it can't manufacture any food. But once it's grafted to the bottom, it goes ahead and grows. Now we can try this project at home, and it doesn't take very many supplies. The first thing that you need, of course, are the cacti. You also need a sharp knife. A piece of cardboard and some duct tape work very well for handling the cactus, and you need some rubbing alcohol and a couple of rubber bands. Now the duct tape works pretty well to protect your fingers from the thorns, and this is a tip I got from Tim at the greenhouse, and if you can just wrap your fingers with the duct tape, that can help protect them. And we're also going to use our piece of cardboard to handle the cactus too, because I'm going to have to grab them pretty hard in order to cut the top off. So we're basically taped up and ready to go. Now we've got our taller bottom here, and then we're going to put a round cactus on the top. Now the two don't have to be the same size. However, if they are close to the same size, they'll stand a better chance of joining together. Now I'm going to use my piece of cardboard to kind of grasp this cactus, and then we're just going to cut it off close to the top here. Again, this is where a sharp knife comes in very handy, because you don't have to press quite so hard with a sharp knife as you have to with a dull one. And I'm cutting this off straight across the top here. We just got a little bit here to go. There we go. And then I'll just remove that top and set that aside. Now, in between cuts, we want to clean our knife off with some rubbing alcohol, and that will actually help keep us from spreading any diseases. Now we've got our top, and we just need to cut the bottom now. And again, I want to use my cardboard, and we'll just kind of remove that from the pot so we can get to that easier. And we want to cut straight across the bottom. And you'll want to cut at a narrower spot so that you can match it. Now, as you can see, we don't quite have a perfect fit, but we're not too far off. Now what I want to do, again, I'm going to clean off my knife here in between, is I'm going to just come in and at an angle, I'm going to cut kind of a beveled edge on this. And what we're basically doing is a kind of a saddle type graft here. And I'm going to cut at an angle going the other direction. So that we've got a point on the top. Now, where I want to match these up, okay, now what I'm going to do is make an opposing cut in my top here. I'm just going to come down in a V. I need to kind of rearrange my cactus here so that I match the cut that I've made in my bottom cactus. Okay, there we go. Now what I want to match up on these two are the cambium. And you can see right here this little faint ring that we see in the inside of the cactus, and then we also see that faint ring on our bottom cactus here. We want to match those up when we place them on top. So I'm just going to kind of seat that on there, and you'll want to check and make sure that your cuts match up good. If they don't, you can recut that top. And we also want the cambiums to match. And then how we're going to keep this on here is to take two rubber bands. One we're going to place around this way, and this can be a little bit of a tricky part. And I'll just place that around the bottom of the pot. And then we actually take our other rubber band, going the opposite direction. And that will hold our cactus firmly on there. Now, it will take about 2 weeks for those to start to knit together. And after they do that, then you can actually remove the rubber bands. And you won't really want to water these until they start to grow. And once they start to grow, you can see some new growth on them, then you can water them. And you place them in an area with some bright filtered light. And again, don't water them until you see that new growth happening. But this can be a fun project to try during the winter. Now, don't get discouraged if it takes a little bit of playing around with it, because they can be kind of slippery as you start to put them on each other.